Okay, good morning. Today we're going to be making a basic choux pastry. So I'm going to take 335 grams of strong flour, I'm going to take 250 grams of water, 250 mils of milk, 250 grams of butter, 10 grams of sugar, 5 grams of salt, and about 9 eggs, depending on the size. But we go by weight, so it's 460 grams. To start off, what we do is take our pan, we take 250 mils of water, 250 mils of milk, and 250 mils of butter. What we're going to do is we're just going to heat that through, bring it to a slow boil, just to get an emulsion, to start to make an emulsion. So once this is brought to the boil, what we do is we just turn it down to a gentle simmer, and we start to add our strong flour. We need strong flour so that the gluten will hold and hold the case in shape. Otherwise it will just collapse when it's cooked. Start working that quite quickly because you want to work out any lumps and bring it all together, and it's basically a large roux. So we're just going to cook it out and cook out the flour, and at this stage you start working it quite firmly so that you start to generate or create the elasticity within the gluten itself. Yeah? Should cook this about 3-4 minutes. Depending on how hard you've got it. Don't let it rest in the pan, because what will happen is it will catch and burn. So you get big shoulders as a result of this. Yes, so what we do then is, obviously we've cooked out the roux slightly, place that then into our bowl, ready to put onto our machine. So in the pan here now we have our roux or our choux base. We're just going to place that onto the machine. Let's get that mixing slightly so it cools down a little bit before we add our eggs, so they don't start to cook as soon as we add them. But just ensure the machine is on speed 1. Just turn it on slightly. We'll let that run for a few minutes just to cool ever so slightly, not too much, before we start adding our eggs. When we add our eggs, we add by egg weight rather than egg number, because eggs vary in weight. What we have here is around 9 eggs or 460 grams, depending on how much we may or may not use. I will or won't add all of it to start off with, okay? So you can start slowly adding your eggs, because what you want to do is you want to make sure that it's incorporated into the mix rather than just sitting there split. So add a little bit at a time, let it come together, and then add the rest, okay? But again, essentially you don't add all of it. Same with making bread. Just add a little bit to start off with, and leave 1 or 2 maybe in the bowl, and then check the consistency by doing a test in the oven before you proceed with your piping. So when all the eggs are incorporated, you've just saved a little bit left in the bowl here. You can take it off the machine. And what we're looking for is dropping consistency. When I say dropping consistency, I mean that the choux paste will fall off the paddle under its own weight. I'm not throwing it down, I'm not pushing it anyway. It's just gently falling, not too fast, not too slow. This will ensure that when we cook it, it doesn't blow, it doesn't spread when we pipe it. So in order then just to keep this ready and good to use, scrape it down, making sure you get as much as you can off the paddle. Yeah, place it on your paper so it stays nice and clean. Scrape down the bowl, and you can pipe the choux now and place it in the freezer, ready piped, ready to go, or you can hold it in the fridge, just cling film to touch, and it's ready to pipe the next day or later that day. Okay? There we have the finished choux pastry, ready for the fridge, and can be pre-piped, frozen, and used for eclairs, profiteroles or religious.